call this meeting back to order.
Oh, it's just a different day.
We'll call roll. Lee Richards,
Yeah.
Shane is absent. Greg Nivens, Randall Boswell,
Here.
Geraldine Moore.
Oh, you had them under new business. We
So,
did all that.
we need to, go back and, go over the 911 again. The budget, there was some, after the 911 budget meeting yesterday, there were some numbers that had changed, so they need to, bring back their budget.
Do we need to put it on, make more straight on the agenda?
Under new
I
business.
didn't want that.
All right, what you got? Change.
4217,
Page two.
Page 2, ain't no sense in going over all of it, just what's changed.
Legal services.
it went to, that's 7,300, it was 6,000 last year, and then he had requested an increase. I don't know why the 3,500 is in there, that was his fee 20 years ago.
Okay,
And then, of course, it changed the bottom line, to 79,255.98.
All right, do we need, can we just do it with, what was we talking about, Greg?
I believe we do.
Just an
Mark
amendment?
tonight, just,
Or we have to do it?
well.
We amended.
Amended last night.
Dr. Presley amended the budget last night to show that, 7,300.
Okay, so we just need to approve the
The
amendment,
bottom
right?
number's the only thing that changed.
That way we don't have to have another reading except for the one tonight.
According to Mike, I talked to him this morning, he said, no, he said, anything can, as long as the final reading is final.
I'll make the motion.
now the first reading that was had on the 911 board, of course, you were, presenting, I thought it had it on there.
Well, it had it at, 4,800.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, 66,000.
Okay,
And, then it went up.
His number didn't
2,500,
match
so
what we had
So
last
the
night.
total changed $2,500, and it from 81 something to 79 something.
okay, okay. All right, I see what you done there. So we got a motion to amend, by Randall. That's second.
Yeah.
Lee second.
Can I ask a question
Yeah,
before
yeah,
y'all?
yeah, I was gonna ask if anybody had any questions.
So on the director's salary, it's went up. I thought that was going down if you got both positions.
I don't prepare the budget, that's what.
We hadn't went over that yet.
Yeah.
Cause we don't know if we're gonna hire somebody, or he's gonna do it, or we're gonna combine them both.
Okay.
That's future discussion.
Yeah. This is just for,
So that don't need to be decided before we vote on the budget?
well, this is for the yearly budget for him.
Probably the only thing needs to change, probably just need, we put 50,000 in it for the, probably needs to be put to the old salary, the old number, as like for full-time, if you go full-time. So we'll have it in there.
Just haven't decided yet.
That's for y'all, not me. I'm just here to help.
All right.
He's here to get
Any other questions or anything? If no other questions, Lee,
Yeah.
Greg,
Yes, sir.
Randall,
Yes.
and Jordan.
No.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
All right.
Thank you. Tennessee, anything other than-
It's just the area right now.
That's fine. We need to, under new and old business, we need to, approve a grant match for the chamber using the hotel motel funds in the amount of $2,250. The grant match is for, what was that grant for, Connie? It was, everything's running together right now. It's some kind of tourism grant.
Is it on
It's in the back. Okay, it's in there.
It's
Okay.
chamber.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah,
Scope of
that's-
services between, Tennessee Development and Chamber of Commerce.
It's about 4 pages out of there, the contract. I read over a little bit of it last night.
It's a tourism, cooperative marketing matching grant.
You go down a truck or something.
Yeah. It's a grant between the state of Tennessee and Department of Tourism. So it goes into the scope to where the hotel motel tax can be used. It has to be used towards tourism.
Property license, the Soundtrack of America, made in Tennessee, Mark. Soundtrack of America, made in Tennessee.
That's probably that advertisements.
It's a license. That was good.
Oh, yeah, she showed us that.
Yeah. There's a video, online too. I've not, well, I don't have.
It's pretty
cable
good.
anymore.
Cindy and I and, Robert watched it.
Yeah, it was good.
The second time I've seen it actually.
Have motion on that.
We can wait till Randall gets back.
Yeah, I guess we should. He's be back, he had to get something out of the truck right quick.
He's coming down to get you.
I can have her make
That's
a copy of this stack. But she just got the top copy, didn't she? See if that's all of it. I don't know if that's all of it. Yeah, I need to see if that's all of it. What's your last page? Greg?
Oh, you need to see the grant.
It is 15.
No, just one, she's the only one that didn't get the full copy, she just got the first page. Thank you,
Yeah,
Cindy.
so the total amount is $75.
That's one of the hand.
We just got
The
the
portion
match.
ours is just the match.
Yeah.
You see the breakdown?
It's 20,
20, 50, yeah.
yeah, it's 22. 50. Total project's 9,750. Soundtrack of America, in Tennessee, trademark.
So our part is 20, 50. Yeah, and we can use the reserve funds from the. Hotel motel fund. Yeah.
Granddad.
I went to get mine.
What we was going on with that?
Original agenda.
Yeah.
but Cindy brought one in there and Taylor was a copy that I was getting, get one made for Geraldine.
I didn't realize that
Oh,
she
I
didn't
had
have
it.
the full.
I was done, that's the one we worked off of last night. But
She's got.
she's got your one right there. This is the bids on the bridge, if you want that in.
Thank you, ma'am.
And then James took the, bids to look over, back, make sure everything's
Yeah,
on.
we got 4 bids on it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
On the bridge here. Jones come on the cheapest, huh? was
On the total.
911, yeah, there it is.
I was hoping for two.
So we have on the table the grant, using the hotel motel funds, the amount of $2,250, for the match of the grant for the tourism grant they have. Need a motion,
I'll make a motion.
Geraldine makes a motion, I have a second,
Late.
Lee seconds, and I need to do a roll call, Geraldine Walker, Brandon Boswell,
Yes.
Greg Nivens,
Yes.
Lee Richards.
Yes.
All four. All right, let's see. We have now going into the, is it tax levy resolution, or what we need to go into next?
Probably want to have everybody look at everything before.
Yeah, we need to go into,
I'm gonna give everybody a packet, and then we'll start there.
before we get into everybody's
Do-
budgets and things like that.
All this in favor.
Mhm.
Man,
Thank you.
You bring my chicken scratch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is everybody's?
you need me to help you put stuff in places?
No, not right now. We probably need to also,
Yeah, hand them out there. This is everybody's everything.
this is the general fund.
Which one we gonna know first?
We can, this one,
Okay, we're gonna scope over the first page, it looks like this. And then we're going to put it off to the side, get into details, and then we can go back to it. I'll let Connie walk us through it.
Okay, okay, so on the first page, this is a portion of the tax levy resolution. And there's, well, I wasn't sure which way y'all wanna go with it, so I presented it in two different formats. The first one is, you can see the value of the gross and net penny. Those went up a little from last year. But, what this budget as a whole is looking at is doing a property tax increase. And if the proposed tax rate goes to 2.62, then we will look at the details of the budget to see what that will cover.
Does this page reflect that raise?
It's on the next check, next,
It's on the next page?
yeah, the 2.62.
Okay.
Okay, so if you go on to the next page,
Page 3,
well,
or
I'm on page 2.
page 2, sorry.
That's okay. Page 2 is, the resolution fixing the tax levy compared to last year. You can see the numbers there. Cindy, do you have a copy?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Somebody,
I don't have, it's over there.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
okay, so 23-24, the, tax rate is 1.9786, with the general fund getting 1.34416.
your page two, your
You're
page
supposed
three,
to use our page three.
Okay,
so we need to page three.
Yeah.
okay. Go where you can see 23, 24.
I thought-
About that.
I thought
Well,
that
that's
number,
my page one.
They all say page one,
go to the last, go to the last.
but it's the second page.
Should be that one.
No, second page.
It should look like this right here, guys.
Yours be third page two like mine. Connie's is second page, yours about that, mine Jolene's your first.
Mine's the fourth page.
There should be two different ones like that.
You got four, so I don't think.
Yeah.
On top, it should say resolution 24, or 2024, 0624 dash 02.
Yep.
You made that all right.
Okay.
So 23, 24, the tax rate was 1.9706. Everybody see that?
Mhm.
Okay. 24, 25, we're looking at, if y'all, approve this budget, the tax rate going to 2.6208. That's on the far right.
Okay.
In the middle, you see that there's a section that y'all will have to make a decision on whether the highway fund gets an additional 5 cents of property tax. Right now, they get 0.085. And so they're looking at, seeing if the county can afford to give them, the $13.50.
The 5%,
5 cents.
5 cents
pennies.
to, that's to, for
Be
the
able to
raises
do
that
it.
he's wanting
Something.
to do. But if we're gonna do, across the board, why don't we just stick with them?
Across the board,
If we're doing across the board raises for everybody, won't that include the counties?
No, they're their own thing.
Yeah,
The highway
they're also-
department's
they're
their
a
own.
county employee though.
So is the schools.
Yeah.
But the schools did their own thing, they did their own thing. So, here's what I was trying to explain yesterday.
Yeah, I got lost in that whole mix up.
So their starting pay is 19 and a half, 18 and a half, 18 and a half.
What is ours,
For the deputies, it's 16. For the ambulance service, it's,
let's see, it depends on what.
just start, the EMTs get a certain amount and the paramedics get a certain amount.
new hires?
I think the EMT is 14.50.
The EMT's 14.50 and the paramedics is 16 or 15,
16.
$16.
I've got, I'm not sure that.
Yeah, it's 16. So
And he's-
they're already 3.5 or $2.50 below what they make over there. They make over there, James said whether we give them it or not, they're getting $1 raise, so that's gonna take them to $19.50. Well, we're down to $16 to $13, and they're getting 80% of family insurance paid for, and we can't afford that over here.
Yeah,
They're their own thing. We give them 8.5 cents now. That helps pay for their 80% of family insurance.
yeah.
Okay, we looked into it last year, what it would cost to go apply more towards benefits, and we couldn't do it. They can, that's their thing, good for them, but we can't do that. See, they're already getting more, and they can get raises throughout the year, anytime they want. They get all this other tax money coming in towards them that we don't see, we don't get, or anything like that. That's how they give their raises, their pay, and things like that.
So
That's the
it's
reason why I was trying to separate it out, Lee.
more feasible for us to leave it at 2.62 away.
That's what I was trying to explain.
I just kinda got lost there, and, but I thought they were all tied in with.
I wasn't trying to single anybody out.
Yeah, I knew.
I'm just trying to be fair,
Yeah, no, that's all good, I understand.
because we're so far down on ours, and they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, they are.
And if, I'm not trying to single anybody out, okay? I'm just trying to be fair to the ones that's went to school, went through their training and done their thing. They've been underpaid for a long time. And
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna
I
have to
agree,
pay them,
I agree.
or we're not gonna have.
All our
a department.
emergency management's been underpaid, that's.
Cause those construction workers too.
That's one thing about James,
Yeah.
he's been there, he's always given them boys a raise, about every year. They went for several years without a raise,
You can.
you know.
They're doing pretty good.
James
That's what they're-
helped them with that. and
See,
that-
I didn't understand it. I
Let,
thought they were
let
on
Connie explain her little thing, or sorry, not little thing.
That's okay.
I just didn't realize that there was their own, I'm sorry.
They-
That's where I got lost in it.
Okay, so they have their own, tax ID number, and they do operate under, you know, the highway laws. But they are in the 1957 Purchasing Act with the county. So that's where we feel tied, you know, to them a lot. The other thing is, they cannot afford a $3 raise without the help of the county. They can the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
He said he could handle the dollar, but when I looked at his fund balance, and I have a copy of that, they can't afford the $3.
So, but can we afford to give them that extra,
That's what y'all will decide.
you know, that's wrong.
Yeah, and that's what y'all will, you know, look at everything and decide. You want to look at this now?
Yeah, we can, and so, I'm gonna look like a turd any way it comes out, you know,
You
Oh,
can take
it's
one
just-
time.
it's just the way it is. I mean,
No, just give
we-
me one.
we can't give everybody what they want,
That's the highway.
Yeah, but you gotta at least
we gotta try.
do it to give everybody the same, though.
Lee, take one and pass it down.
I mean, it's not any different like Victoria's office, she did, like, she
Yeah.
allowed that.
Well, no, that
That
was,
came out of their special
that
tax,
was bonus, that was,
You're talking about pulling out of their money,
but
too.
it wasn't pulling out ours.
it wasn't pulling that back.
It wasn't pulling out
Yeah,
our
but we're
money.
gonna give them $3 a rate, or whatever the rate is, the same as
No,
everybody else.
they're not.
Not Victoria's office.
They didn't get it through us, they got it through
He's talking
the.
about-
I'm talking about if we do the raise across the board.
But,
If
That's
you do it
apples to
across the
apples.
board.
but
They-
across the board is not, doesn't include that
Bonus.
And it don't include the school.
or the school, because they're, like you said, separate entities, so. They're not in, they do their own, like the school does, that's right.
Well, they got their own board.
What,
We're the highways board.
We do the schools too.
But we're just approve their budget or disapprove their budget, but if we give them,
We can't tell them what they can and can't do.
yeah, but.
Okay.
if
We can't
I
tell any
think,
office.
I think what
technically.
Greg was trying to say was, if y'all give a $3 raise across the board, then Victoria's office, those employees get the $3.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Well, I mean, they should.
Peggy's office
Well,
and
if we do it
Carol's office.
across the board, everybody should get it,
Huh?
yeah.
Why shouldn't the road?
Well, they're their own entity.
They're county employees.
No.
They're just-
Yes, they are.
They are employees of the county, the school's employees of the county. What I was trying to say is, their pay has been increased over and over and over with James. Without, we don't say whether they can or
they
can't.
gave a raise.
They've been
About a dollar.
They got a raise
They got it, how much?
They
About a
get
dollar,
Last
oh,
year.
year and year and year.
1%,
1%.
and then we get $2, and then we get nothing for the year.
But
And we didn't give anything to them throughout the years on top of it.
That too, when we did the
used to
$2
give
an
10
hour
cents.
last
Is
year,
that what
or,
you're talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah, no, we used to give them 10 cents, and then with the value of the penny going up, we got to reduce that number, you know, the.
it's a maintenance
so,
of effort.
but when
It is
we
a
did the
business
$2 an hour thing, did they take part in that?
They did, they also got $2, but they paid it
But
out of their.
not from the county.
They
Not-
paid it
not
out of
from
their
our- Not
gas
from our.
tax. They paid for it out of their gas tax.
Oh, okay, so, he went and did it,
Out of his
Yeah,
budget.
we processed their payroll.
sync with us.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
cause we're trying to improve morale, I'm hoping.
yeah. Well,
It hasn't came out of this. We're having to raise taxes. But where I'm looking at is how high can we say this? When I went to Farm Bureau, they said, how many farmers are you gonna put out of business this year? You know what I mean? You're looking at 65 cents or 70 cents. And I don't like getting asked how many farmers are you gonna put out of business. It's hard, but like I said, I'm gonna look like a shiny turd to everybody, cause they're gonna get mad at who? It's me.
Well.
I'm gonna get the calls, mad,
And I've already had many phone calls.
and if I tell one certain people no, then they're not mad at you, they're mad at me.
It's, well,
But that's all right,
yeah.
that's what I'm here for. I can't be afraid to say, no, we can't do that. But that's what I was trying to say is, if they're gonna be at 1950 and we're at 16 with our police officers,
Yeah.
and they get good benefits,
I understand what you're saying, I do.
I'm just trying to bring ours up
Yeah.
to where they need to be.
On Victoria, is she giving hers a raise this year also, out of that money?
It would be every county office, like, it would be, we can't just single out one office.
No, no, she's talking about the bonus money.
She did $250 bonus.
No.
The
no,
$3,
$250.
It wasn't a bonus.
the $3
Yeah,
tax
she
fee
get them all a bonus.
all
out
goes
of
to
it.
her office to do whatever she
Right.
wants to.
That's what I'm talking about.
We have no say over it.
So she's.
She, that's what she
And
wanted
she's
to do.
given two bonuses a year, one in the spring and one in the fall.
Listen, it ain't a bonus.
Well, that's what she
It's a
said.
No,
salary
it's a
supplement.
salary supplement,
Yeah.
same thing.
It's not a used car, it's previously owned.
There you go.
But I mean, that's money that the state gives her for tithing.
That's a tax.
And I don't agree with that,
The state
for
put
one
in,
office to
Yeah.
have it and the rest not, but
Yeah, that's,
So
but
this
that's,
would
that's
include.
they got
something
to
that
pay
Jim's
for
approved.
legislature.
That's something that the commission approves every time
yeah.
before she does it.
Cause they have to take it out of the reserve fund.
They have to take it out of the reserve, but it's, that tax is for that office, no matter if it's Victoria or Jane Doe, it's for that office to use as they need, and that's, can be used towards salary supplements, or it can be used towards part-time help, it can be used towards full-time or equipment.
Anything to do with processing.
Anything that has to do with processing titles.
So the 2.62 would include
Nothing
Victoria
we
with the $3
That's not
raise,
fair to the other.
It would include every,
but not the
It's
highway.
not fair to.
Every
road
county
department
office.
to not
Okay.
give them a raise.
I got you.
And not the highway and not.
They got
school.
that. They got that approved through legislation, wouldn't they?
it wouldn't include the highway or schools, it would just include the county. Yeah. And before we get into that, this here, what I have is a print off of what every county gives their highway department, and y'all don't have it, but I can make you a copy.
Here's what we can.
And under the highway, if you look at surrounding counties, Clay County gives nothing to the highway department. Let's see. DeKalb County, it's kinda close, they give 7.2 cents. Fentress County gives 1.4 cents. No.
We don't have it.
They don't give anything, I'm sorry, I misread that.
That's all right.
DeKalb County gives 3.2 cents. I'm sorry, I read the wrong one. Fentress County doesn't give anything. I'm just trying to look at some of the close ones. Macon County gives 9.6.
A percent of their tax rate too.
Yeah, we give 8.5 cents. Pickett County doesn't give anything. Warren County, gives 6.7 cents. Van Buren County gives nothing. White County, it's right there, they don't give nothing. That's what I'm saying. there's not, the only ones that you see giving 13.5 cents would be cities.
One thing is with the highway department, we do have a maintenance of effort, so if you give them that money, you would be required to give them that every year.
Yeah, you can't take it back. Once you give it to them, it's
That
theirs
we
forever.
dropped down to,
The value of the penny,
It
gave
was
them that
the
equal dollar.
equal dollar amount. Like if our value of our
So you
penny
do
went up,
that.
Yeah.
Price.
Just like in the schools.
yeah.
that is the example that I wanted to show you. It ain't that we have to follow any other county's lead. It's that,
Well, probably our biggest complaint is the commissioner on the roads.
Is what?
Roads.
Oh, yeah.
but none of this money will be going towards roads.
Exactly.
Well, it will be if they give it a raise and take it out of the other part, it will be. See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, $220,000.
That's a lot of pay. I'm just trying to be fair to all employees.
I got you.
Last election.
And
So
it's
you're
hard,
saying,
it's hard for me
you're
to,
saying,
it's just hard for me to,
are you saying we should give him that extra? Or no?
well, I just think everybody needs to be treated the same.
That's where I'm trying to bring ours up.
Yeah.
Because I know they need to be
Theirs
treated
needs
the same, but
theirs
theirs
needs
is
brought
up.
up too.
Theirs haven't been brought up through the years where ours hasn't.
They're $2, $3 an hour higher.
That's why we need a desk audit on all these positions. We need to go back through, we can give a little bit, but to get the salaries up where they need to be, we need to do an actual desk audit on all the positions and see what each position it calls for. If your job description meets that, you know, here's your job description, what percentage you're doing this, and this, and this. If it don't meet it, you know,
Do a salary study.
but it needs, that's the only way you can honestly be fair.
You use that, you're gonna lower a bunch of them down over there.
Maybe not. Probably when you get one back, it'll probably be scary how far below the record we are, because those are construction type jobs over at the highway department. And then you've got specialized people at ambulance service too, the paramedics are way underpaid. Then you look at, compared to what we're paying the, sheriff's department, compared to what's on the federal wage rates for those.
Yeah, but if we go to the 2.6 rate across the board for Young County, then we can afford to give him that.
You
No,
would have to
we go
to
2.7.
Well,
2.67.
yeah, 2.67,
That would include, yes,
that would increase it enough to
yes.
compensate what he's wanting to do right there.
I don't know, it's just a matter of.
If he's running that, you know, but how much of a raise is he gonna wanna give his guys? You know, you got a guy out there driving a truck making more than a guy that went to school, and you can ask Ray if he's still here.
He just stepped out.
Oh, you know, as Chris, I mean, it's real inexperienced to go through that school, and takes a lot to learn, you know, and you're paying them guys out here pushing a shovel around, $2 an hour more an hour than you're paying a police
It's a
officer.
2-year program
You know,
for a paramedic.
well, still,
I mean, it's
On
just.
top of a 2-year program for EMT basic and.
yeah,
Yeah.
but still, you
So
know,
you're
they're,
talking 4 or 5 years.
me, law enforcement, you know, if anything, I think we gotta give it to the EMT side, you know.
That's where, because they're
law
so
enforcement side,
far,
I think.
we're so far off the scale on that. And even in my office, bookkeeper position, when we was trying to interview, we interviewed like 4 or 5. And I was like, well, what are you getting paid now to do in bookkeeping position? And they're making 20. And I'm like, well, it pays $6 less an hour, and I can't do it. And they just get up and walk out.
If everybody is, you know, on board with raising it up that much, then it needs to go, equally to everybody, not just,
You talking teachers too, or?
well.
Cause when we give it, we can't take it back.
Well, I know that.
We don't know that, we do control the teachers.
We don't control the teachers' rights.
That's state control.
Oh, that's right, well, they're going up tremendously anyway.
Yeah.
But
That's
I've already
true.
checked with them.
So if we're gonna get on board with everybody else, then, you know, we just have to do what we have to
Are we
do.
gonna start paying 80% of family insurance for our employees, same as they do?
Well, can't do that.
Cross that bridge again.
Well, I
Not
mean,
right now, I mean, but, you know. I
that's
mean,
why I'm just trying to be fair
That's
across the
an
board.
incentive, that's an incentive that we could do in lieu of a raise, you know, to pay more.
That's what happened at the highway department years ago. That's what
the
they
reason.
gave with it.
Yeah,
They gave
I
them.
think Ernest,
That's why they're-
I think Ernest done that.
Theirs were down because they paid more, now they're demanding more to come back up. But they was given 80% of health insurance besides the raises
Let me,
to entice them, and now they're wanting those raises.
What do you think?
can I ask a stupid question?
There is no
James said he was gonna give $1 for the we gave him.
so.
If I was, I would get anything on it, and I think I got $1 last year too. Okay, and, I mean, you know, I'm like, you know, I think the positions that has to be like a paramedic, deputy, EMT, something, is a higher risk job.
Oh, yeah.
No truck driver makes enough money to put up with what they put up with. I drove one for 45 years, I know.
I did myself.
And, and there is risk for the highway department, boys, patches and stuff, you know. But if James is gonna give them $1, this is where I was coming to. What would it cost us
Give them two.
to give them two, you know, I mean, how much,
Yeah.
and then everybody would get the $3, for, you know. But James is gonna give them one regardless,
That
It'd
sounds
still be
fair.
3 or 4 cents.
and you know,
And do the tax rate of 2.67?
well, whatever it would be to give
It'd
them
still be
two,
going
give
up.
them enough for the $2 raise instead of 3, because James is gonna give them $1 anyway.
Yeah, and that.
$1's gonna cost you 60,000, no, $1 costs you 60,000, so $2 costs you 120,000.
120,000, so that's 4 to 16, that's 3.5 cents.
It's-
That's 4 cents.
It'd be a third of what the, just do a third of what. the
Nah, she's
increase
figuring,
would be.
she's figuring.
No, not a third, because it's,
Well, if it's $2, just do a three.
It'd be 2.
Yeah, okay.
But it would
Take a
work.
third
it would
off,
work
take a third
anyway.
off.
yeah, that's what I was trying to think.
That's why I married a CPA.
That's 5 cents.
Dumb.
It'd be, what, 4?
Me too.
How much is it?
I can go look at the actual
You want
calculation.
my phone?
No.
But I'm, you know,
Even if you did that, you're still,
I'm saying, you know, that,
And what tax rate?
well, that would drop, that would give them 3 cents probably instead of 5.
At what tax rate you say?
So, well, you're taking 3 cents off of the
That'd be-
62,
Yeah, that'd be like 2.6.
so it'd be like,
2.65, raising the tax rate to 2.65?
instead of 2.67,
Do it to 2.62.
it would be a couple cents less.
we're,
Oh, that sounds.
So can I say something?
yes,
So
ma'am.
that is gonna have them making, starting out at 22, whatever.
20-something dollars an hour.
We're still gonna have.
We're still gonna be at 18,
They're gonna
19.
be starting out.
People in public safety.
They're still gonna be a lot less.
That's it,
Well,
that's if we give
that's-
them that extra, if we give the county that extra tax.
That's still,
We
they're
don't
gonna
have
be
to give,
making.
we don't have to give them that extra, do we?
But you can go all day long, construction workers pay more, I hate to say that, but I don't, that's good for them. I mean, construction work pays more than,
We've lost
I know it's hard work.
14 total this year at the EMT.
$19 went to work for 26,
8 of them went to make $70,000 a year.
and that's sad.
And we can't pay 70,000 a year.
And you know,
But we just need to do enough to try to keep them retained and.
if a fella ain't never had to have an ambulance, he don't know how valuable they are. when I read that wreck in 17, the first voice I heard was Robbie Shep. He whispered in my ear and he said, Randall, it's Robbie, can you hear me? Nod your head. The next voice I heard was the nurse in the helicopter. Said, Mr. Boswell, it's fixing to get rough. We're fixing to land. I know nothing for about 5 hours. And hey, they've got enough money that we can pay the guys
No, I know,
what they do. And I mean, you know,
I've been in that field, I know.
if you've never used one of them, you don't know what it's like.
Yeah.
But now, when you there, and they got 5 liters of fluid off of my left lung, I was drowning in my own blood. If we hadn't had ambulance service we had, I would lay there on the side of the road and die.
I got no qualms with
And let me ask you another question.
I just think they're all underpaid out here. They always have.
We're kind of a non-profit type deal. We'll never make the money back, cause we try not to, charge as much to our citizens, right? Vulcan and Rogers Group and all that stuff, they're a for-profit, they can set their rates to pay their employees $100 an hour if they want to. Am I right?
You're right. And
See,
like I say, I know a
we
boy,
can't
I know a
do
boy
that.
that James lost that went to work for one of the local construction companies making that's $26 an hour.
But like I said, they're a for-profit, they make money, that's their business is to
Yeah.
make money.
And we're not, we're a nonprofit, but that, where I was getting at, you know, these contracted service, ambulance services, I don't think they're as good as ones like we have, private owned. I would hate to see ours go that way. But, I mean, you know, it's just, and the sheriff's department, I'm not gonna need, you know, unless somebody is bothering me on my property that they ain't got no business there, then sure, I got no, you know.
Unless
But now,
somebody
whoever's
breaks
there gonna need him,
in. Right,
but, you know, but they don't get paid enough either to get out here. Just say if I did that one, I pull Greg off. I don't know what Greg's gonna do when I woke up. I mean, how many days a week do you hear a law officer walk up the car and got shot or shot at?
More so than you used to.
yeah, more so now.
And, I mean, that's worth more to me.
But they all do
You
a
know,
good job.
but now-
We need 'em all.
The boys at the highway department, they have dangerous work too. One of the tractors got run over here a year or two ago on the yard, right away, car run over. And the boys, you know,
Right.
but, so I mean, you know, you got, if we go compare apples to apples.
We just need to, we're trying to be fair to
How
everybody.
can we do it to, compensate our EMT, everybody, just, if we get them all at one?
Well, you've got people living in poverty that works for the county.
Yeah, I know, well, you've got people living in poverty working for the sheriff's department,
Right.
and the EMTs too.
We've
you know.
got people on TennCare, we've got people that don't even get a paycheck because they can't afford their
$1 billion
insurance.
around here, what,
I'm
30
gonna
cents?
play the devil's advocate here again. So we got people living in poverty all in this county, and we're gonna try to raise their taxes almost 70 cents. I mean, we are gonna get shocked.
We're trying to survive all the way around, and I understand that.
One thing I wanna remind everybody is how our salary schedule is structured, where, let's say you start out as a corrections officer, you have those different levels that you can move up, and then you become a deputy sergeant. So, there's opportunities, I mean, the way the salary is structured so that, you know, that they're not limited if they want to take on more responsibility and learn more skill.
I can move up.
And probably 2 years ago, we gave the $2 raise.
Now, that's another thing we're having to raise the high for, cause we
There
didn't,
wasn't the money there to take care of it the next, from then on.
That's
But we didn't raise the starting pay, we just, you know, and with this $3, we're raising the starting pay $3 too, and that makes, if you start tomorrow, you're gonna be up $3 more than you would if you started yesterday.
We're always gonna have people living in poverty,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, so, but, we need, the county needs to survive if we are.
Well, I calculated my taxes on my 24 acres. And they're gonna go up right at $600. But hey, that's, yeah, that, you know, it's gonna be hard to come up. I draw $715 a month social security.
That's a that's
You
a
know.
couple dinners at a restaurant
And,
somewhere.
yeah, but
This
if
day.
you lay down here on the side of the road, a dime, I want to know that we've got a good
Me too.
paramedic who coming to work on
Somebody's
it.
kicking in my door, I want a good officer there in
And
just a few
that's
minutes.
right. Cause you're gonna need, Mayor him one, gonna need.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't forget clerical, cause you wanna make sure you get paid.
Well,
Yeah, that's
you know,
right.
Well, look on the inside too.
That's why I'm saying, you know, these big trouble. I hate a 1% raise, that's,
That's the fairest.
I'm not
No,
putting
they do
down
3%.
anybody that we
Well,
have.
yeah, I mean, with percentage
One
raises,
raise.
percentage raises.
If, I'm not trying to put down anybody that we have, but if we offer, more to like police and things like that, then we will entice the, officers that's coming that's already trained versus the ones that we have to train them and then somebody else steals the good ones. And we're not having to hire ones that, that we don't need, and then we're not getting lawsuits that we shouldn't have. Does that make sense? Like I said, I'm not putting down anybody that we have now, but,
What you're saying is we shouldn't give them a raise? or we
no,
should? We should raise them.
yes.
That's my point.
the city's paying
I've
$5
argued
more an hour
that
for
for the last
police
7
officers
years.
than we are a
I
deputy.
got served again
We're looking at
yesterday.
deputies in the city.
Yens don't know this.
They're getting another
but I got
raise.
served again yesterday, so we have another lawsuit.
Besides already being right at $5 an hour higher in the city than the county is.
Yeah, we've lost 2 officers right now to the city.
The city's got some good officers, got a good thing going over there, always has that.
They got a couple of our real good officers.
We're
But-
talking about increasing.
We're talking about increases,
I was just trying to keep it, like, what Randy said makes sense, if we could get it, or it's, if we get it, the amount minus what James has already got flagged, everybody could go across the board.
But
If you wanna look at this, it'll show you the different scenarios where
That's,
This one here,
the one with the bold.
Oh, Lord, I had it, hang on. No, I didn't get that one.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Maybe.
what this one shows is the audit numbers, the estimate, and then the other 3 columns show the highway department, their budget, if they do not get a raise or do not get extra pennies.
Where are these at? Okay.
The next one shows they get a raise with no extra pennies, and the other one shows
you share this one.
raise with extra pennies. Now, that was the 5 cents, the additional 5 cents in the right-hand column. And if you look at the last page, page 6, you can see the different effects that it has on the fund balance in those 2 situations. So, you know, where he said he could probably afford $1, he might could, but there's no way he could afford anything else.
No, good on them.
Because
It's fun,
their fund balance is usually at a
yeah,
million.
at the,
At the highway department.
at what rate?
Did it 3 different ways.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one doesn't have the raise in it,
Yeah,
and the second one does with them on their own, and then the third one has the raise, and with us giving the extra 5 cents.
So the middle column has got the dollar raise, is that what you're saying?
No,
That has them giving a $3 raise on their own.
right,
Yeah,
It ain't got the dollar,
Right.
okay.
mhm,
this is just the highway.
yes.
Okay.
Cause I didn't have any of that information at the time, but I just wanted y'all to see the facts.
This is
That's-
So our fund balance will be,
$3, yes.
The fund balance, they let on their own, the fund balance would be $356,000, I mean, that's no way, that's not,
Yeah, it's not feasible.
Well, the $2 would be higher.
How
Yeah, I
much,
just wanted y'all to
how
see
many
that.
raises have they got in the last couple of years, or last few years? Of like, how far have they came up?
so the first one's no raise.
Well,
Last
James said when he done, they made $12 an hour
So they've been brought up from $12 to $18.50.
at about $1.
356 is what they would have, 356 is what they would have if they done the whole
Sometimes
$3
it's
out of
50
their
cents,
budget.
sometimes it was $1. But it averaged
That's a
out.
drop off.
Gallon helps me up how much in 8 years.
Shouldn't be right.
It's going.
And if they do, it's,
Houses.
drop from what? 500,000.
250 to
Yeah, you're right.
close to 500,000 on houses.
So anyway, I just,
You know,
So what do we wanna do then?
no, I'm just letting y'all know,
We're just looking at.
so you have the facts when you make your decisions.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's comparing. And, you know, I mean, nobody will know after the election who the new road superintendent's gonna be.
So if they
But they're
don't,
inheriting a bunch of junk. I mean, most of those trucks were bought under Joe 20 years ago. There's a couple of new Peterbilt dump trucks that's 5, 6 years old. Their equipment is wore out. I mean, they've got to have some equipment somewhere in there, and I don't know how, you know, we're gonna have to think about that too.
Does the state give grants for equipment?
Not that I know of.
we've never gotten any.
Have we gotten any or went after any or we went
I
after?
know James has bought a few used pieces of equipment along as he's had the money, but all of them did. And you remember, you was here,
Transferred one from a county, didn't we, or another county?
you remember here several years ago, when, well, I
They'd be
guess it
better
was
off
when
they didn't
when
get a raise.
Joe bought the truck,
this year,
the county paid
They'd be
60%,
better off if they didn't
and
get
the
a
highway
raise.
department paid 40%,
According to their
you know, with
fund
Barton's money. You remember that?
Yeah.
I know
That's why
you
y'all
were
need
here
to know
then,
how much we're helping
and,
or not.
you know, I mean, we may have to do something like that again further down the road, because
I just got us out of debt.
I know, and I appreciate you for doing that. And I'm glad you did, because
I'm just,
everything we've done for
how
I'm
you
over
must
it.
dye your hair, cause it's sure you marry after all the stuff you got to go through.
yeah,
But,
the room spray, you know? Yeah, you know what it is now?
Yeah.
that's,
Our page.
Hey, this
this,
is
this number's bad.
Big-
revenue
big
estimate
book.
and appropriation requests. No,
Not
not,
the legal, that's short.
well, let's see, you may not have this one, do you?
Yeah, they all.
Yes.
It's got all of it on the front page.
Mm-hmm.
We starting on the first page?
Yeah. This will be the general fund.
Okay. So, we have this is the general fund budget, and then this big legal size is, it will show you the differences for the line item, each line item. So we can go over it either which way you want to.
This one here?
Yeah,
No.
no,
No, this
this one.
way.
Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry.
So, first of all, on the general fund, the first column you see has the word audit. Those numbers have been compared to the audit and corrected, updated, and it matches the audit. And so, let's go to page 30,
Got that number?
on the right-hand
Oh.
corner, open up the right-hand corner. What that shows you is where you're starting off your fund balance. When you get there on page 30, you'll see, $7,853,938.
Page 30.
Yeah, I'll wait for everybody to get there. Okay,
30.
alright, so that first column, you'll see $7,853,938. Bottom, yeah. Okay, so that just shows you that that's where we started. The next column is the original budget that we passed back in June. The next column is any amendments that we've made and how it's affected that budget. And then the next one is the one that is still changing, because we're still spending money and taking in revenue.
Request, right?
And then under request is what the department requested, or what I estimated, if it was our revenues. So,
And then that leaves us a balance of,
okay, so this includes the $3 across the board in the general fund, okay? This budget does, and if you go to page 30, that would leave your ending fund balance at the end of next year to be $4,733,909. Now, below that is the revenue that I have not posted yet for May, but that's just to give you an idea of where you would be at.
780,000.
That's added to the 4.7.
So
So-
page 5,
So,
54.
we were talking about needing 3 to 6 months of expenses, and we would need it, we generally try to, it used to be 3.5, moved up to 3.7, now our, target is 4.2. 4.2 is what we need, to keep in our fund balance, and that is so that we can operate until we start getting our property tax in October.
We're required to keep between 3 and 6 months.
Yeah.
We can't ever get to 6 months because it would cost so much.
How did the taxes collect this year?
That brings us to 55,13,909. If you add the 780, it brings us 55,13,909.
Okay,
You remember we
so.
used to, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. The problem is, we've already collected the majority, through February of the property tax, but we still have payroll and all that to keep spending out of that for this year. So that 5.5 will not be 5.5, it will be less, because we're still operating.
It'd be down closer to 4 than it was.
Yeah,
By the time we do everything this month.
First of the year.
so that's, what really went into play when we tried to determine, if we had to have a tax increase, if so, how much, and what we could, operate on. Now, one thing that we haven't done as a budget committee is we haven't went through the line items and see if there's any places that we can cut.
That's what we're doing today.
Okay, before we get started, is there lawsuit money included in
Let me
this
show you.
5.5?
Okay, I don't want everybody to get hung up or confused on that.
Hey, before we get into that, let's recess for
Okay,
5 minutes, so everybody can take a potty break, okay?
yes.
Cause I've gotta go to the bathroom. We're gonna recess for 5 minutes.
Take a coffee.